Hi, hi, hi. It is me. I am back. Let me make sure I'm looking in the right camera. So here I am. Whoo, yeah. Okay, so I am an HR professional, HR manager who is getting ready to retire. So I'm moving into a different field. And so one of the things that I'm doing is, of course, you can see the clothes back here. I'm a reseller. But one of the other things that I'm doing in this journey because it appeals to me is I am now on TikTok, on live, encouraging other people who are on TikTok to go live. And when I tell y'all it has been so rewarding, it has been rewarding. And so I just finished and I'm on day 8 of doing that, going live on TikTok. And I started off again with sharing a little bit about me, and then I started like day 1 through 5. I started off talking about my food journey, and I had a book here, Foods That Harm and Foods That Heal. So this was my title. This was the first 5 days that I went live on TikTok. So I didn't really see a lot of traction with that. I mean, like the first day I got on there was like over 300 people watching. I'm like, what? I mean, like this is my first day going live in this way, face to face. I always go live a lot of times when we go on vacation, to show like the scenery, because I love watching other people's live on TikTok. And when they do that, when they are out and you can see the sea and it's just beautiful. So that's what I do. But the first day, which would have been 8 days ago, is when I started going live, actually just being myself in front of the camera on the TikTok platform, using the live privileges and benefits that are there. And so I was talking about my food journey and how back in 2015, I believe, maybe 14, I watched a documentary called What the Health on Netflix, and that just made me want to go meatless. Plus, my sister and my brother in law were meatless as well. So I talked about that, and there were people who watched, and again, I had over 300 people watching me, which I think it was a phenomenon. Like my first, like the algorithm or TikTok or AI said, okay, this is her first time, let's blow her up, so she's encouraged and she keeps coming back. Because, of course, slowly the numbers dwindled down to, maybe 30, something like that. And I really had not seen those numbers since, but I think I know why. So that's what I did like the first 5 days. And so I noticed that my numbers were not going up. And then, but I kept talking about it. I kept talking about my journey and how, again, in this book, it talks about the foods that help and the foods that harm and what you can do. So, like onions, onions are hugely beneficial. So, I spent a great bit of time talking about, I just picked out just random fruits and vegetables that are in this book and just shared with the audience about, facts about that particular item. So, again, I did that for the first 5 days. I really didn't see a lot of good traction after that first big explosive day. So I'm thinking, okay, because you always have to have a strategy, in mind of how you're going to do things. I do this in my live reselling. When things don't seem to be going right or when things are going really good, right? You want to put those high dollar items out because you got buyers in there. So going live on TikTok, and what I'm learning is really no different. So when you see that your numbers are going down, or, the next day you get on, I'm still talking about foods that harm and foods that heal, that you're not getting a bunch of traction, it's probably time to regroup, and figure something else out. So I said, okay, there are a number of creators on TikTok that are talking about people going live. That is the message. The message is all things TikTok, specifically going live, what the benefits are. So I said, oh, okay, I can do that. I can encourage people to go to do something. I can do that. I can do that. I just need some info. I need some facts. So like day 6, that's what I started doing. Well, what ended up happening in my day 6 is I started getting hit with what are called restrictions. So I'm like, Lord, what is going on? And when you get, so these are all things that I am learning, in TikTok, the TikTok universe. And I knew that TikTok had community rules. Like I had like this thing back here, because initially that's what I thought, because it said, it looks like your branding something that, you don't have permission to brand, and it gives you a 10-minute violation. So what that means is the algorithm is not pushing your content out. Like, people don't even know you're there unless they're already in your live, right? And so you're on, and you don't see a lot of people. Actually, you're not going to get any people coming in, because what? You're restricted. So the people who are in there, or you'll have dribbles of people, maybe. And so I had that. So the first time, there was one or two people in there, and I just kind of stopped because I didn't think anybody could see my content. I'm like, Lord. So I'm just talking out loud. Good thing I didn't say nothing crazy, because apparently you are still live, but I didn't know that. So I'm looking over here on my computer. I'm not really talking about anything about my main topic, which is expanding their territory, because that's kind of my headliner. And so I'm looking at my computer, and I see, 0, 2, 3 people. That means people are in your room. And I'm like, Lord, I wonder how long. Okay, this restriction, what I got, 9 minutes. And I'm just kind of piddling around. I go over here and I give me a little drink of coffee. The whole time I'm live. The whole time. So I didn't figure that out. So that started happening around day 6, day 5, day 6, day 5, day 6. So yesterday it happened. And so I can see people in there. It's like 4 or 5 people, right? And so I'm like, so I'm going, can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Kind of how you do when you on like Microsoft Teams or Zoom or something like that. And I'm like, Lord, I got another restriction. This was yesterday. So I'm like, Lord, I done cleaned up my background. I done even put up a fake background. You can put up them fake backgrounds. I done took all my jewelry off, right? Still got my earrings, still got my necklace. But I'm like, what is it? What is it? And so yesterday, again, I ran into the same thing. So I end up having to go off of live, come back on, only be hit with another restriction, right? And I'm like, what in the world? I'm like, okay, today's not my day. Today is not my day. I'm not going to be able to overcome. Let me just, shut my ring light off, get my phone and go and do something else. So I thought, no. We said that we were going to get on for at least 60 minutes. If you can do 90, then do 90. That's better, right? Because it takes a little bit of time for people to show up in your room, right? People are doing other things. And so I said, okay, let me try and get back on. So I got back on there, and I was good. And I was telling people as they were coming in, and I'm just talking, just like I'm talking right now, because that's how you do. You don't wait for 10,000 people to show up. Like sometimes you'll see on Facebook Live, people are like, well, I'm gonna wait for some more people to get in here. No, on TikTok, when you hit that live button, you need to be ready to go. And you need to talk about whatever it is you're going to talk about, whether you have 0 people in the room, or 100 people in the room, or 50 people in the room, or 8 people in the room, or 10 people in the room. You need to go. You need to assume that there is somebody watching, because there likely is. So anyway, so that was yesterday. So today I get on, and I think I left my ring. And I always like to, because you don't know about trolls and, what people's intentions are and all those things. And, some people say, well, it don't matter. I mean, it's TikTok, people scrolling through. Yeah, that's true too. But I wasn't completely ready. So I went on and went live, and then I realized it. And I always have my music on over here too. And so I said, let me just run downstairs real quick, because it does take like a minute or so for people to show up. Because there's, TikTok is sending out the signal to your friends that you are on, that you are live. So by the time I came back up here, I was like, welcome, y'all. Thank you. This is all about you expanding your territory. Boom, restriction. I'm like, what in the world? What in the world? So now I look at it, because it gives you some info, but it's really like generic. Like there's something that's intimidating or harmful. Like that's one restriction. And another restriction is, your content, you're branding something without permission, and, Well, on this particular one today, it gave me some more information. It said, look, you need to go into your disclosures and in essence fix it. Go into your settings and fix your disclosure. That's what it said. And it had the website on there. So I said, okay, I can't do this on my phone. So it's 10 minutes, 10 minutes, and it has like a countdown. 9, it's showing you that you still under restriction. They're not sending any people to your feed. And so I didn't want to shut it off and regroup and come back on, because then what? You gotta wait another 10 minutes for your restriction. So meanwhile, there's people in there. So I'm like, y'all done been hit with a restriction. What is it saying? So I'm over here looking at my computer, trying to figure it out, but there's a handful of people in the room. I'm like, y'all, I got a restriction. I'm trying to figure out what I need to do. So I said, excuse me, I said, let me just stay on until this restriction runs out. And then once it's out, it says I need to go to my settings. I'll go ahead and end the live, and then I will figure out what I need to do with these disclosures. So meantime, I'm over here on my computer, and this is the beautiful thing about TikTok. There are other creators who've been hit with the same thing. So several creators that have made videos about how you need to remedy this. So the time went down to 0. Okay, I was no longer in restriction. So I'm like, okay, y'all, because again, even if it says 0, just assume somebody is watching. So I said, okay, y'all, I'm gonna come back. I need to fix this disclosure thing. I'll be back. So I ended my live. I went to my phone, went to my settings, just like the other creator said, because I have my laptop over here. I went into settings, went into disclosure, and there's something that says that your brand is you, that like what you are representing is you, your brand, or if you are representing a brand. And in the live, you have to pick one or the other, not both. When you're doing your videos, you can pick both. But in your live, you have to pick one or the other. So of course I said, no, this is me. This is my content. So I did that. And so I said, okay, let's go. So it had probably been by that time about 34 minutes, something like that I had been live, all kind of, well, no, not all cobbled together, just in that one live. So I said, okay, let's go back live. So I went back on, y'all, I'm back, so they get another notification that I'm on, my followers did. And so many of them show back up. So now I'm talking about it. I'm talking about, I got this restriction. I was trying to figure out, and I've been getting this restriction, for the past 3 days. I didn't know. Today they gave me some more information. So I was able to go in there and fix the disclosure and say that this is my content. I'm not representing anybody. This is my brand. And I hit that disclosure, that little button, so that now I'm good to go. And I didn't have any problems the rest of the live. And so, so I said to myself, okay, you said you was going to do 90. You said you were going to do 90 minutes. Okay, 60 to 90 minutes. Is that all together? Is that on one live? So I said, well, you really be cheating yourself if you use the 30 minutes that was, was kind of like turbulent, and not just went a smooth 60 to 90 minutes altogether. So that is what I did. I went on and I stayed on for 90 minutes. And what happens on TikTok, when you go live and you're on for 90 minutes, it tells you, congratulations, you've been on for 90 minutes. Do you need to take a break? So when I got that notification, I knew, okay, you've done it. But also over on the side, let me show y'all. These are all things I've learned in the past 8-9 days, right, of going live and listening to other creators talk about it. There are your live analytics, real-time analytics that show up, right? And so let me see if I can. So like here, like it'll show you all your live analytics. So I have that up right next to me so I can see it. And so it's encouraging to me, because you can see that, like I had over 700 people view it, right? And so that means that people are scrolling on your live and they see you, maybe they're only in your room for a minute, or, maybe a few seconds, but they saw you, right? They were able to see you. And then it also tells you how many likes you had, how many shares you had. So I didn't get any gifts, and that's really the way that you monetize, people giving you gifts. But I've only been on 8 days, only 8 days. Remember, I'm starting this kind of journey where, I'm coming out of my company as an HR manager and I'm retiring and I'm doing something different. So the reselling I've been doing for over a year now, which has been very profitable, very, very profitable. And it is a line of work. If you are a shopper, I have another video on it too. If you are a shopper, you will do well reselling. If you are a shopper and you can articulate and put a full sentence together, you should also become a reseller. So I do that over on Whatnot, right? And you can pick and choose when you want to do it, right? So I've been doing that again for over a year. Now, this whole TikTok thing, this is brand new. This is just been exposed to going live, these creators talking about going live in the past 9-10 days, right? I've only actually been going live for 8 days. So I will tell you, initially, let me fix my camera's a little bit crooked. Okay, there we go. It was a little bit uncomfortable. And remember, I'm a person who's used to being in front of people. But one thing that I am learning is, again, just like on Whatnot, don't pay attention to the numbers. Just deliver your contact on Whatnot. You're going to be running your auctions. You may not have very many people in your room. You may not have anybody who is bidding on your auction, but just keep going. So in that same kind of spirit with TikTok, you see maybe you have 1-2 people in your room, right? And you're like, it's not even that many people. But one of the things that I'm learning from these other creators is you want to engage. You want to say people's name as they're coming in, right? And welcome them, and thank them for coming in, right? And some people say, don't be calling me out like that. Well, it's okay to do that on TikTok, right? That's a way of engaging with your community. And then also, again, I talked about me doing the food and kind of how that sort of, I wasn't getting the outcome that I thought I should get, which is, a lot of people in the room. So I ended up like I'm getting somebody is going live right now. I need to go watch her after I finish this. So what was I talking about? Oh, okay. So with the TikTok and going live. So I wasn't getting the reaction and the impressions that I thought I maybe should be. I don't know why. I've only been going live 8 days. And at that time, I had only been going live 5 days. Unrealistic expectations. That's what it is. Unrealistic expectations. So I changed, which again, you have to be willing to do, right? On all these platforms. So I said, okay, let me change and let me now talk about people expanding their territory and encouraging them to go live, because that's what a lot of creators do. And they educate you on this whole point system that TikTok has. When you're watching videos, you're getting points, right? TikTok gives you 4 points to watch an entire video all the way through. You get 3 points for sharing it. You get 2 points for commenting, and you get 1 point for liking it. And then if you rewatch it, you get another 5 points. So this is all happening in the background. There's nothing that tells you this, right? But this is a way for the AI, the algorithm, TikTok to see that you're not a robot, that you are actually a human being who is engaging on the platform. So this is what I've learned from other creators in the past 9 to 10 days. So I said, okay, you can share that and encourage people to go live and expand their territory. So yesterday, after I got past all the restrictions and I got off, I was looking at a lady on TikTok, and she said she'd been a recruiter for like over 25 years. And, she had like over 100 people in her room, and she was talking about just random things around recruiting. And so then kind of a little bit of a light bulb went off, because, although I'm exiting my career as an HR manager, I still have that knowledge, skills, and capabilities. I've always known that. But what I didn't realize is I probably also need to be creating a strategy to also share that content on TikTok during my live, because there are people who, work multiple jobs. And so they're interviewing. That is my thing that I'm very passionate about, because I don't think people know how to interview. They don't realize, yes, they're interviewing for themselves, but they're also interviewing for the interview panel. Because if that interview panel does not like you, this is after over 20 years with my current company, and then 10 years with another automotive company. I've been on this side of the table doing interviews for a long time. And so if the interview panel does not like you, you might not get that job. So you're not just interviewing for yourself, you're also interviewing for the panel. So you need to be mindful of that. And I know a lot of people don't know that. So watching that lady yesterday on TikTok, the recruiter, talk about that, a little bit of a light bulb went off in my head because it goes along with me expanding my territory. Okay, you need to insert that in there too. Maybe on certain days, because it doesn't have to be all or nothing. I don't have to just be talking about encouraging people to go live and to get their 500 views or 500 followers so that they can go live. I can do other things too. It's not all or nothing. And that is the beautiful thing about going live. So here I am on YouTube sharing my journey. If you like what you heard, why am I looking so dark on here? Good grief. I don't know why that is looking, because I got a big ring light. That is so interesting. Anyway, if you like what you saw, please like the content. Please follow. Again, I'm going to be doing, my intent is to do these videos every day after I go live on TikTok and share my experiences, because again, I do believe that there is a ton of abundance for all of us. I absolutely believe that. And we can all win as long as we're willing to share. And what you have and what I have are different. They may be similar, but they're different, and there is benefits in it. And so I'm going to keep encouraging people to go live on TikTok, but also go live on YouTube. There is something that we need to learn from you. So again, please, if you like the content, please like it, follow, share. Thank you so much. I will see you next time. Bye.